Greetings and welcome to Flesh Wound Horror Live. I'm Flesh Wound Dan, joined by Producer Todd once again. How goes
Good
it,
evening.
Producer Todd?
Chilling.
There you go. For two shows. We hope you enjoyed Squared Circle Society, or if you missed it, there is a new one that you can listen to now. So Todd, how are you doing? What's up for the people just joining us? Having a good day, I hope.
Yeah. None. You want me to lie? Yeah, it's fucking great now. I'm just fucking out of it. I'm ready to eat a cookie and chill the fuck out.
Good oatmeal cookie makes everything better. So we do actually have a little bit of news this week. The first thing I wanted to bring up was, well, kind of a false alarm, because I think a lot of people are assuming it's a lock, and I don't necessarily think it is, but the Nightmare on Elm Street 4K for the original film that is coming out, of course, this led to a lot of people thinking box set, 4K box set, and there's like a million.
Do they not? I was gonna say, do they not realize New Line's thought they do this every time? They release the first movie on the format, and you know they'll release a half-ass box set later.
I mean, but that's I think what a lot of people don't realize too, and I've had this conversation with friends, it's really the first movie that's the big seller.
Yeah.
A lot of the singular releases for those sequels, they don't do that well. No, they don't. I mean,
it's the first one in the box set. That's the ones that people want. Like I'm just gonna hold off on the first one. I don't think I need to see it that in 4K that badly. That I can wait till we get, because obviously eventually there's no licensing issues. Warner Brothers owns them all. It's just a matter of them when they want to remaster them and do it.
Put the money in. Yeah.
Exactly. And Warner Brothers isn't all about spending money right now.
I was going to say, that's what I was going to bring up next. I don't think it's a major priority. I don't think it's the big money maker that people seem to think it is. The casuals are not going to order a 4K. Again, I'm talking the box set, not talking the movie right now. But if this possible box set, you got to be talking like north of $300, right? At least for that.
It's going to be something on par. Like, okay, see, here's the thing. I think it's more likely if Warner does not want to tackle a 4K set, they could license it to a Screen Factory. They could, they work with, other companies now for catalog stuff. So there is a very good possibility New Line, Warner Brothers, releases the movie on 4K on its own, and then lets a boutique get the sales after. Because right now, that's, I'm gonna hold out on it, but a lot of the community is gonna grab that 4K. And then they're gonna bitch when that eventual set comes out, because I'm not saying it's anytime soon, but it is eventual. I don't see there's a way not to.
You don't think like they would just maybe look at it as, let's keep this ourselves, release another cheap Walmart set that we're gonna probably make more money on?
Because what, I don't honestly think those sets affect the other one. Look at the Friday the 13th set that came out after all the box sets that still the Paramount put out that's still sold. It's a different the collector's market is not the same as the people are going to pick it up in the store, in the bargain bin.
But for this, you might need to reach more people than just the casuals. That's what I'm saying.
Which is why it's better to let a boutique label do it and then them do it. Because see, I don't see a set from Warner Brothers New Line $300. Do I see one from? Do I see that price point at a boutique? Absolutely. So,
yeah, I don't know. You're not going to reach any casuals for whatever that price tag's going to be.
Well, here's the thing. You're not going to, at this point, are you really going to reach any casuals with the fucking 4K of things people don't really collect? I know we're starting to turn that and people are starting to turn back to physical, but I don't know if we're there yet.
The first film, I think, again, will do well. It always does.
I think it will. But I don't think it's going to be like, it's going to be, Yeah, I don't think they're going to sell 1 million copies at Walmart. Because we're at the point,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, and we don't even know how much time there is left at Walmart, but I don't know.
Target's
I thought
done.
it was interesting. Well, Target has been effectively done. Like it's
But they've
even a
had
full end
in-store
cap.
stuff, but at least they're not going the Best Buy route and pulling it off the website either. So they're still going to do the web sales at Target at least.
That's good. That's good to hear. Yeah, I feel like there's like one box in the back at Target now with movies. Like
I haven't been in Target in a while. Yeah, they normally have like the new stuff up front and then like a little end, fucking basically a end cap. But
it's not even a full end cap anymore. Like it's very like you can tell they're just done. Walmart, at least most of my Walmarts are the same. They've been for a long time, but Target's done. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not like opposed to a box set existing or anything like that, but I'm really curious because if it is 4K, that's going to be a whopper of a price tag. How much was the last Friday set when that came out on Blu-ray, mind you?
That was about $300. But that's not. Okay. I mean, that was the list price. You know what I'm talking about? I mean,
sure, it went down later. Yeah.
So, but I mean, people are paying a lot of money for these things right now. A Scream Factory set, it's going to sell out. The Night of the Demons one went quick. You do that with this, how quick is it going to sell out?
Yeah, it's you're assuming then the starting's got to be more than 3.
No, you can get the set bare bones for 3, but I mean, if we're talking like, they're going to be sets. If Scream Factory, which I think is probably the most likely because they already do all the Warner Brothers stuff with them. I mean, Warner does other stuff.
They're gonna fuck it up no matter what. They're gonna fuck that set.
No, but I'm gonna say this right now, Dan. When was their last fuck up since someone left the company? I haven't heard one. What was the last one? Night of the Demons. That was one of the last things he worked on.
Yeah.
Not our friend Chris. And that wasn't even a fuck up. Chris would have preferred a different audio track used. That's the whole different thing.
Yeah,
but I mean, since the person left and went to a different company, that other company has more fuck ups too. And yes, I'm talking about Cliff going from Scream Factory to Arrow. You can see the difference now.
Yeah. Watch Arrow all of a sudden. Man, they fucking suck. Well, it did take me a long time to get that Coffin Joe disc.
And I don't know if he just brings a black cloud with him or something, but they how many replacements have they had since the Switch? How many issues? It's
I guess so.
Fucking packaging to align properly anymore. They're putting out shitty box. The first Hellraiser set fucking is all mismangled, and the Child's Play set doesn't go together right.
So you're basically saying Cliff McMillan is the angel of death for physical media. Like,
no, I'm not. I'm just talking a little shit because he's done some good stuff. I mean, the work he did at Scream Factory.
Cliff McMillan, piece of shit.
Okay, I did not say that.
That's a joke, Dad. I know you did it. But no, you're right. Like
technically, I worked under him when I worked for Scream.
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I can make a case with Nightmare on Elm Street, and I know nobody wants to hear this.
People are paying $60. Is that how much the SRP is on this fucking thing?
Well, remember, they start when they first list something on Amazon.
That's that's an SRP, Dan, suggested retail price. I'm not talking
you're
about
never actually paying it.
Okay, but that's not what I'm saying. Is that what the SRP is my question. $59.99.
I'm assuming it must be.
Is that what you're saying, Orc? Because if so, that's change my word. Fucking stupid. Dan could read between the lines. Most you probably can too.
I know no collector is going to want to hear this, but can't you make a case at this point for Nightmare on Elm Street of just like, let's just license the doc, put that on there, and we really don't need any more extras.
The extras, they've already been done definitively. If they want to do some new commentaries, go for it. But extra wise, they just need to pay for the commentary and make it happen. The only thing, I mean, out of a box set I would like is the uncut version of Nightmare on Elm Street 5. Even though it's my least favorite, I would like it uncut so I can retire the Laserdisc. and Freddy's Dead with a proper Blu-ray 3D, so I can watch that ending properly. That's it. I don't give a shit if they're Blu-ray at this point. I don't care. I just want them uncut and that 3D segment properly. Its MSRP is $70 fucking for one fucking movie. I'm about to say fuck physical media. That MSRP.
Robert Englund is gonna have to lick everybody's butthole.
I'm gonna figure out how to charge this son of a bitch. We're gonna play his message for $1. Everybody gets to hear it.
Todd, you have
the best
to figure
ringtone ever. I just gotta find this charger.
Did you just say who it was, Todd? Like, I don't think you revealed that before.
Did I mention? Well, whatever. Oops.
$70. He can go fuck himself. We're gonna play it.
I'll trade his voicemail for the goddamn 4K.
Holy shit.
$70. Are you fucking? Oh my god.
I didn't realize so Diabolic is charging 70 like right now. Well, then that means that what the fuck are they putting on that thing at this point?
Does it have any? I honestly haven't even paid that close of attention because I don't care because it's just the first one.
I haven't either. There's like channels out there that
are still talking about
minds. Yeah, it's the talk of the physical media.
Well, it's the
world.
ultimate collector's edition.
Okay. What makes it the ultimate?
I don't know.
Do I get to motorboat Langenkamp's titties, or what are they? What's the ultimate? You've got that doc, which is, hey, I'll put over the Elm Street doc. Like, that is fantastic. Everything you could possibly fucking want is on that doc. We could get really in the weeds. Like, there's always something else you can do.
They can license I Am Nancy. They can license the Nightmare 2 doc.
Exactly.
I mean, they don't need to.
That tells the story.
Yeah, it totally does. It just, but I don't think someone like a Warner Brothers would pay the license to license those.
Warner absolutely won't.
So it'd have to be someone else who does it. And yeah. So, but honestly, I don't give a shit if it's just the movies in 4K. That's the only set I need. I got all the extras for the sequels. I mean, just 4K. That's it.
Let me ask you this.
I don't even care if it's 4K, like I said at this point.
And this is also problematic, but they just do Blu-ray with new transfers, and they do it that way, so you have a somewhat affordable.
I'm fine with that. Like I said,
but all the collectors are going to be like, "You're not getting me on this." They're going to put out a 4K.
Yeah, so
that's how I would feel about it.
Which is funny from you, Dan, because then the 4K set would come out and it wouldn't come out with Blu-rays. Then you wouldn't buy that version either.
It would depend on the price point for that, because again, now that I know I can get that, now it's not going to be for $70 fucking.
Now, is that the import price though too? Like, I don't know if that's the US pre-order or what. I'm like I said, I haven't been keeping up. Diabolic.
Yeah, I didn't even look. I'm assuming Orc meant Diabolic, but
no, that's what he said.
Okay.
So, I don't know, but I know the UK one has the pre-order already. So there is supposed to be a US one. It's I don't even know. I'm not keeping up with all this shit.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a good transfer, I'll buy the 4K of the original. If it's, that's cool. You know me, it's weird because it's like I like the character more than I like the movies. At least a lot of the sequels. I like the original. I like 3. The rest I'm a little more indifferent. I've tried. I see why people like 2 so much. I just never connected with it like everybody else does.
I like weird.
I totally get it. And I like elements of it. I like Marshall Bell. But 2 is just, I've never had that big turnaround with 2. I didn't care for it when I saw it as a kid either.
It's also my first
theatrical
horror movie and theatrical Freddy movie. So,
okay,
which I totally know is why I really enjoy Dead Time Stories. That movie's not the best, but I did see them on a double feature. And it's my first time I ever saw the boom mic above because the theater did not put the mats on the film. They just played it the whole fucking screen. So
that's awesome.
Warner Brothers did an Exorcist Ultimate Edition recently about the same price. It'll probably be exactly like that for Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, that was the Bible one. Now, wasn't that like not Warner US? Because I know some of those exorbitant like editions are like that. If that's the case, that'll definitely, the MSRP price is $70 isn't bad because I see those Exorcists selling for like $300 now. So maybe I will grab one. Maybe I won't open it, but I'll grab it.
I was gonna say maybe you want to just bite, but you just never know what else is gonna get announced, and it's not as desirable anymore.
Well, if it's like the Exorcist Ultimate Edition, it will hold its value, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I would almost say bite the bullet, get two, and sell one to the marks.
But then you're the mark. So that's the problem.
If you're coming out of it with profit,
but it's a gamble. So
it is a gamble. I'm just going to close with this on this story, though. Whether or not hey, again, great if we get it, but whether or not we get another release of Nightmare on Elm Street, it's not the most important thing. Like, there's a lot of other cool shit, and I'm just talking the past that we haven't gotten it all yet, at least on disc.
I will say
more excited for
with the historical importance and the remasters or the masters we have of the films now are pretty dated, even for the Blu-rays.
They're not bad though.
They're not great though. You can look at them and see they definitely need a modern scan.
Sure.
They're just early Blu-rays. I mean, that's the only thing. I mean, if you look at the old Police Academy discs to the new ones, which also are on Blu-ray, not 4K. But I mean, just the new transfers, 4 was always, that's one of my favorite of the series. And that one doesn't look, the old ones don't look great. So
yeah. New Blu-ray transfers, if I knew for a fact, like, you don't want to overpay for something that then, at least in the collector's market, is worthless. If it is, I don't know. I'm very curious what route they're gonna go, because they might try and fuck you first.
No, if they're doing okay, I'm glad Ben said that. If they're doing it that way, it's a little better.
Yeah. No, I figured there had to be a budget version out at some point. All right, but moving.
Brian Tress says pockets are empty right now. Paying for owns my soul. I got 2 payments left and I'm free.
I've got like a couple small ones going, but and don't forget, like, at the end of this month we got the halfway to Black Friday. Not even the end of this month, it's the 24th.
So that'll be my next paid for.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I already got the shit pre-ordered, most of it, so
I'm a subscriber, so I didn't need to bother to.
But yeah, thumb your fucking nose up.
You know it did? That's the way you sound every time. You're like, well, I own it. Same thing, asshole. Take it. I'm gonna do it every fucking time now. Well, I'm a subscriber.
Yeah,
every fucking time.
You fucking peons out there.
Take it, Dan.
Yeah. Fuck you, Tad. All right, moving on to our next news bit, because there was actually we had like no news the last couple times, but so Crystal Lake, there was that report, and I'm sorry, I can't remember from who, that came out that it was scrapped. Now it's not scrapped. That I suspected, and that ended up not being true. A24 is not scrapped Crystal Lake, depending how you interpret that word.
They just scrapped it.
Brian Fuller no longer attached. He and A24 had some disagreement. I mean, I will say, remember, Brian Fuller did Hannibal, arguably one of the most successful adaptations to TV from a movie property. Well, and also a book property. So I don't really know what to make of it exactly. I still feel
you would have been happier if it was done.
I wouldn't be happy. I do think Friday the 13th works better as a movie. Give me a 90-minute movie.
let's pause this Friday the 13th television discussion for after we talk about Chucky, because I think there'll be some interweaving. And
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk more about it during our TV Terror Talks.
because I
I
think
also
that'll be
watched
fun
Todd.
discussion.
I was on my game. I watched all of Fallout. So
Wow, so did I.
we'll talk some Fallout in TV Terror
I didn't know
Talks.
if that was. I knew you'd watch some, but wow, I don't know the last time you watched the whole series that didn't have your three favorite teenagers and a doll or two.
Oh. No, that's not true. I've watched a few things. It's hard to keep up on TV these days, but 8 episodes. Then we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. But first, let's kick things off with our first movie review of the evening, which is our also our only our only wide theatrical, from directors Spencer Cohen and Anna Hallberg. Tarot. So, when a group of friends recklessly violates the sacred rule of the tarot readings, they unknowingly unleash an unspeakable evil trapped within the cursed cards. One by one, they come face to face with fate and end up in a race against death. All right, so
Can I guess?
guess what? My thoughts?
Yeah, were you not a fan, Dan?
I was not, Todd.
I kind of figured that.
I was. So I'll get some background first. So this is based on a 1992 novel by Nicholas Adams that was called Horoscope, which apparently this movie was released in some areas as Horoscope, which I thought was kind of cool. But so apparently the filmmakers did not actually read the book, I guess. And it's not like, if you're looking for a direct adaptation of Horoscope, this is not it. So all right, so it's going into this, I wasn't expecting much. The trailers did not look good. This really looked like throwaway, entry level at best horror, and sometimes that can be fun. I mean, I can remember Countdown. I think you and I saw that together on one of the LA
Yes.
trips. And I was like, oh, that's pretty good, surprisingly. So my expectations were low. This is the most fucking cookie cutter script I've seen in a while. You have a comic relief guy who's not funny, didn't crack me up once. All the jump scares I thought missed. The characters really bland, superficial. Nobody stood out. I wouldn't even say bad acting. Just cookie cutter to the fucking max, man. Now I will say I thought the basic gimmick of it, it kind of reminded me of 13 Ghosts, just the basic premise. It's not to say it is 13 Ghosts. It's not. But, I was like, oh, okay. Each sort of killer has a gimmick. They cut away, of course, from every kill. There's no real gore in this. There's, a little bit of blood splatter when something does happen. It's very safe, too. There's an off-screen thing, and then at the end they just kind of, I don't know. It felt very, very safe. There's no real scares in this entire fucking movie to me. Some of the tarot killers looked cool, I guess, but most of it's CG shit, and again, it's just so blunted. The characters aren't interesting. I could care less about anything that's going on. If it had an R rating, at least maybe some of these kills would have a little bit of impact. But again,
do you think that would have made it different for you?
It wouldn't have made this movie fantastic to show the gore for these kills. It would have helped a little bit. Would have helped it go down a little bit better. Now, the nicest thing that I can say about it probably is it's stupid. It's it's not good. I think it probably goes down a little bit better than like Imaginary or Night Swim, which were bad movies that maybe were more
See,
serious.
I was hoping you might have been able to have fun with this one because this one's bad, but it's dumb, and that for me made it fun.
If I were watching this with you, like,
which is probably why you like Countdown. I was going to say that
Countdown is a much better made movie. Go back and watch Countdown.
Well, but no, I did like that. It's a good Final Destination ripoff. This is not as much as a good final, but I mean, I like Ben says, I was digging Tarot till about midway through. The creatures look pretty good, and some of the kills had a good setup, but the off-screen kills sucked, and the ending ruined everything for me.
Yeah.
I was along for the ride. I didn't care, but you have to remember, and this is probably going to make a lot of sense. I love Annabelle Comes Home, dumb Scooby-Doo episode. And
I think that's better than this though too. I get that.
I do think that is better, but it has that same.
And I'm not a fan, but
I know you're not. This has the same, like, it's just, if you were a 13-year-old girl, Dan, this was on at the slumber party, you'd have the time of your life. But unfortunately, you're not. Or fortunately, you're not, I should say. But I mean, it is. It I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely not something It's not for the horror community. I'll go that way. This is entry level horror for youngsters. It's not. Yeah. The trailer scared the shit out of my kids. So.
Yeah, and again, I'm going in and I realize that I'm not 5 years old. Or 8 years old or whatever. I feel like you get much older than that, this isn't going to be that scary because the comic relief guy, Pat, or I can't remember his name, Pat, I think, or something. Like, I'm like, shit, dude, like, he's not even making me chuckle. Like, none of this is.
It made me laugh. Ben does say, I do believe this will be something kids who are 13 now will say is underrated in 10 years. It's possible. Everything's a perspective. So, I mean, there's stuff that I know I like from kids that's fucking garbage.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna remember anything in 10 years. It's just gonna be cell phone or whatever. They'll have the chip in the brain at that point. I guess they might have instant recall. But again, I didn't want to be harsh. I knew going in that this was probably not going to be something that was going to blow my mind. There are worse. Like I said, if I was watching this with you, I would probably have fun, but more in a like, what a fucking piece of shit kind of way.
Luckily, I can do that all by myself and have fun with a piece of shit when I'm alone.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not overly long at the very least, but yeah, dude, you could do so much better. What actually annoys me about this, I think it's a cool enough concept, and it's wasted on a throwaway movie.
But I don't understand, like, how else this is like the genre it is. This isn't like supposed to be a serious piece. I don't understand what you do different.
You bring up 13 Ghosts.
No, I didn't. I didn't compare that at all because I didn't get the comparison. You brought it up.
Well, imagine from that studio and an R rating. You could probably make a fun movie out of this.
I don't think there's an R-rated movie in here that's going to make any kind of difference.
It's a body count slasher. I'm surprised you say that. And I'm not harping even on nudity or anything. You could make.
I know. Work. I mean, it's not going to make the movie better. I don't think it'll have some things you may like more. But if you think it'll make the movie better, do you think My Bloody Valentine's better now? No, I just get that gore I've always wanted. I mean, I guess
My Bloody Valentine. What are we talking about here?
I'm just saying, like, you saw that. No, the original. It was bloodless the first time you saw it, but you still loved it. But so that the gore later didn't make the movie better. It just gave you more of what you missed.
At least had some mood, some scares.
But you're not saying my point. I don't think gore is going to improve this movie to you or anyone who did not like it.
I will say, even though I don't like it. The Annabelle Comes Home, right, was the third one. You'd be better off just watching that. That at least has some fun gags, and this just, I don't know, this didn't. But Todd, that's okay.
I don't know.
You
I like
liked
the
it.
creature. I don't know. I had fun with it. But I know it's a bad movie. But again, I'm like, Scream Factory will release the 4K equivalent. He'll buy it then.
I don't know. They might have to like license Horoscope and.
I don't know what Dan's gonna do in like 10 years when all these like premium collectible boxes are all these movies he hated from now. So you're just gonna stop collecting physicals, Dan, because it's all gonna be fucking Blumhouse, Night Swim, Scream Factory 4K sets.
You're gonna have to. Hey, that is true though. There are a lot of. Well, it's more than 10 years. In fairness, it's more like 20. But there's a lot of people. Like some of the like what the fuck did you watch? Like it's an underrated 2002 classic. Like you get that a lot from people, and sometimes it's the case, but usually it's like, dude, what the fuck? It's everybody hated that movie. Where was
I
the
don't
fan
think
base
people
20 years ago?
people throw around underrated when it's something they like. I don't think a lot of people really use that word right. Like Ouija got the 4K, yeah, and fucking both the Happy Death Days got the 4Ks. Like it's yeah. There's a lot of
I like Happy Death Day. I wouldn't throw that in with throwaway horror.
no, that's not what
yeah. Darkness Fall. I get what you're saying.
No, because he brought up Ouija got a 4K.
Yeah, I would have bought the 4K for the second one. What's up, Ghost, and anybody that I missed?
I'm like, how's it gonna look any better? I mean,
it's a little bit too soon. Like,
yeah, I like the Happy Death Days, and I haven't bought them yet because, well, one, I got them on digital in 4K. There's nothing new on the sets. They're not collector's editions. I'll wait another 15 to get the 8Ks with all the extras.
That's kind of like where you might be waiting for that 8K forever, but
you know what I mean.
Something like Green Inferno, which I know didn't sell well. That's because, like, at that point, it had only been like such a small amount of time, and you could get that Blu-ray for $5. So, like, I mean, yes, I get it. Like, Eli Roth, always a good commentary, but like, am I really gonna dip again for this? Like, that's a tough pill to swallow, I think.
I've just, unless it's a favorite, I've stopped the Scream Factory because all they're doing is re-releasing stuff that, like, I'm like, do I need to see a new transfer? Yes, I'll get Return of the Living Dead and some of the ones like that, but
yeah,
a lot of them now I see them like I don't even care.
Yeah.
So there's too much now. They're all trying to squeeze that last penny out of the market. Sucks.
Yeah.
And they're just going to kill the market quicker doing that.
I agree. There is some stuff that's very questionable at this point.
So I'm sticking with I'm not buying that Nightmare on Elm Street.
Dude, I'll tell you what. If I do, it's going to be gambling to sell one. Just like fuck. I'll luck out and this will be one of the ones I can hawk for a couple $100, but I can't justify that. All right, so Tara, we didn't rate it. Todd, what say you?
Since I rate off how much enjoyment I had, I'm gonna give it a 3.
Oh, it's not a 0. It's a 1. Cool enough gimmick, but
it was Blumhouse to be a 0. We all know it, Dan.
It's not. You know what? That's one thing I thought. I was like, wait, was this Blumhouse? This is shitty enough to be Blumhouse. And I was like, oh, no, it's not. So
it was much better than some of the recent Blumhouse productions.
I said I'd give it to you, even though I think Imaginary and Night Swim are better made and acted. This, if you held a gun to me, I would say
I think that's probably why. Maybe that's why it was like because this is like an independent. It's like crap we wouldn't have gotten to the theater a few years ago, but it I don't know.
That's fine.
That's how
I get it.
I always appreciate the stuff that's shit on.
There you go. Well, we'll see if we're gonna shit on the next one. I don't know. Our next film is a shark film. We haven't gotten one of those in a couple weeks. And that is Something in the Water from director Haley Easton Street. And in this movie, we follow a group of 5 girlfriends, including a former couple who were a year prior dealt with in a hate crime attack on a subway. And they all must fight for their lives in open water after a dream wedding transforms into a nightmare. Okay, so Something in the Water. Todd, we've gotten a lot of shark movies lately, a lot of shark movies lately. And one thing I think I'm learning, because we either get the serious shark movie that we've seen a million times and bleeds together. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's awful, but it's like essentially the same movie. This is a more serious shark movie. I am learning, for me, like, more often than not, I'm more down for the cheesy shark movie at this point, where we're gonna do something like just off the wall with the shark, because I'll be damned if this one is nothing that I haven't seen a million times and recently. That's the issue. There's not enough time that's gone by for me to get excited for another shark
And
movie.
and it's like the same shitty formula we've been doing over and like I do not like this formula. Like with the fucking
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, and
Around.
it doesn't even have a cool gimmick. Like No Way Up, I think, was the last one we did not even a month ago. That at least was like a little different. We get the disaster movie kind of set up and they're in a plane, so it's like, okay, that's at least a different setting for the shark to set it apart a little bit. This is just open water sort of stuff. Like it's like, I've just seen this done better, and it's not the worst shark movie ever made. They've very little shark action in this, which I'm sure is to shark movies already jumped the shark. Indeed, Brian Trash.
That is funny after this post, because that was definitely a stoned comment. I'm still stoned. I'm Jim
so
Dees.
so yeah, I mean, it's not poorly acted. I like our main girl, Hifton Quasim, who plays Meg. I thought she was likable. I felt bad. We open up with this horrible like hate crime in the subway, um,
That's my
which
best part of the movie.
it sets up something a little more intense than what you actually get.
Yeah, that and maybe that's probably why I didn't like this one. Like, spoiler, I didn't like it.
Yeah, I figured. There's very little shark action. That is obviously so they don't have to use too much CG. I mean, the CG that's there isn't fantastic, but for a shark movie, it's fine.
Dan, you're getting heat for spoilers.
So maybe it's the big shark on the cover, Ghost, that might give it away. So I don't know. But yeah, I thought the actors, I thought they were fine. Again, there's not as many logical issues. I cringed a little bit when the one girl at the beginning was like, I want all your phones in this bag. And I was like, oh my God. But at least that didn't factor in the way that you would expect it to. I'm trying to think like what else I really have to say about it. I mean, one other complaint that I did have, it's obvious that they're shooting this not in deep water. There's certain portions where you can tell that they're just standing, shoulders are well above arm. There were a few moments like that where I'm sure a lot of people won't even fucking notice it, but being a boat person, I guess there were certain things that I didn't really feel that isolation that a better film like An Open Water or something gave me. It is a feature debut. Again, it's not awful. If you want your shark fix, this will be perfectly fine. But you know what, Todd? We got 2 more coming at least this year. 2 more, I think more. We got Under Paris. Huh?
No, I was going to say, well, isn't Shark Week coming up? Isn't that normally when they kick in?
Yeah, I know. I don't know which one was Netflix. One's Netflix. We got Under Paris and Close to the Shore, and I want to say at least one other this year. That's not. Yeah, there might be 20 sci-fi asylum shark movies, but uh, and I agree, Brian Trash. We should tackle dolphins. That is like
Oh, the problem with them is we all know what they like to do. They're very
last
S
cove on the left, sort of.
there we go. I was gonna say SA. Not SA, but SA.
Last cove on the left coming soon.
That well, if you know the origin story of a shark, I can't say the name anymore. It was all the dolphins' faults. I don't know. Maybe it's time to try to pitch that movie.
All right. Well, we'll see about that. But man, yeah, no, there's just nothing that stood out about this one.
Was
It's
it as
just
good as The Shallows? No.
no. Shallows is probably, in my opinion, one of the best, more serious ones.
The last shark movie that we saw for this that I remember liking was probably Black Demon.
Black Demon, I'm putting in the cheesy shark.
It is. It is,
Yeah.
but I did enjoy it. That's like the last one I remember. But it was the kind of cheesy where they're not trying to be, so it made it even it worked.
Yeah, supernatural shark flick. That's another one we saw together.
We did.
We did, yeah. Like two other people, I think. Josh Lucas, I believe, was the actor in that. Yeah, that though, I'm definitely putting cheesy. This plays it too straight. I'm telling you now. At this point, it's like I know you're not going to give me Jaws.
So what if you were
yeah.
to replace the cast of Tarot with this cast at Something in the Water? Do you think that would have made a better film?
I didn't say the actors were necessarily bad in Tarot. I mean, I don't think it would have made much of a difference at all. Although, again, I like the main girl in this. I thought she was a good actress, but you know. So,
all right. Well, yeah, I don't have much. Yeah, it was same old.
Yeah, same old.
And I didn't care about the characters, so it just didn't work for me.
Go watch Santa Jaws. Go watch Ghost Shark, which is the goat of bad shark movies. But again, this is perfectly fine if you need to see a lesser Open Water again. So I am a generous 2.5.
I'm a 1. I'll say watch Open Water again. Now watch Open Water 2 again. Or 3.
Yeah, and it's only a recommendation if you've just seen all of these other movies. There's a lot I can name up. Shark and a shark nudie cutie has not been done. We need to bring back the nudie cutie, Todd.
Are you going to try to work around Facebook? This is just all nature documentaries.
This is all nature documentaries.
We're protected under the whatever.
It's like, why is she diddling herself with a shark fin? That's not a nature documentary. All right. So, yeah. What do we got up next? We got. You ready to go to hell, Todd?
Let's go to hell.
There you go. I was waiting for like an enthusiastic response there.
I'm already in hell. Stuck alone with Dan.
Fuck you, Todd. I'm delightful.
I miss Kruger and I miss Bugs.
All right, Todd. Well, fuck you. So our next film is Hell Torture, also known as SIKSA NERAKA. It's an Indonesian film from director Anggi Umbara. And in this film, we follow 4 siblings who defy their religiously devout parents to go on a trip to a concert that they were forbidden. Well, actually, the young daughter is scheduled to sing, but she was forbidden from going in Jakarta. And they defy their parents and end up going missing and getting caught in a flood. And now they face hell itself and the punishments it has to offer for their sins. All right. So I've said this before. We've actually reviewed a lot of Indonesian horror this year, just last week, I believe. I'm a fan. of Indonesian horror in general. Now, Indonesian horror is always religious themes in Indonesian horror. That's very, very common. If you watch enough of it, you'll see a lot of that tradition, some of those their religious Muslim traditions come through in the horror movies. This is a Muslim scare flick. And
They could have went a different way and made us really scared, but
it
I would
so
prefer that movie.
this is not a good movie. I did enjoy it. So like it is very heavy with its messaging. Like
You know, I hated every frame of this, right?
you did, but I thought you might have a little fun because it goes so over the top at the end that it kind of has that reefer madness kind of with gore feel for
I
me.
just want this to be over. I was not having a good time.
I knew you would have a tough time until they arrive in hell.
I was already done by that point. That's the problem. There's some cool visuals. I'll give it that.
What made me laugh, so we get into hell, and this is an more extreme horror film. We get to hell, and it is like so over the top. Like these like teenagers, they're getting like their tongues cut off. They're getting like burned by giant irons. Like they're really going hard with the gore. A lot of it is CG, but the overall look of hell, like it was kind of cool. And just like really brutal. There's not a lot of suspense, really, to be honest, with this movie. It's not one you can spoil, but they get there, and I guess most of the plot involves them. Because I'm watching this and I'm like, are they really getting fucked up like this because they just like went out after fucking curfew? Like, goddamn. But there is more stuff revealed. I thought this one was funny, stupid to me, and it's not going to hit that way for everybody. If you are a devout religious person in this region, I could see it scaring you. I kind of just thought it was kind of funny. There's something about this that just made me laugh. It is very gory again at the end, but the way they kind of deliver this, I just thought was just kind of goofy. And yeah, Ben Grimm, their sins weren't even that bad. Yeah, again, it's a religious scare film, so remember, not that well, decades ago, smoking a marijuana cigarette would be enough to land you in hell. So you got to look at the mindset of the particular region, or at least some people in the particular region.
Well, that's a spoiler. Maybe we'll throw that one up. I guess technically it's a spoiler.
Yeah, that's what I think made it funny. I would not, you know what? I would have left it as simple as they didn't listen to their parents and they went out. Like when they weren't supposed to. And it just, yeah, I mean, they're getting like hot pokers through the face, and like at one point, it's not much of a spoiler to say that the mom like finds condoms in the kid's drawer. And then it's like that. I think they cut, and he's like getting thrown into a lava pit, and I'm like, this is so fucking dumb. But I kind of like it. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to give this high marks because, again, this is for a very, very specific audience that kind of likes like these really goofy scare flicks. But as you said, the visuals are cool. It's not poorly made. It's not poorly acted. All of that's very good. We do get a giant black scorpion that randomly shows up that I think Kruger might have appreciated. But yeah, like just watching these people, like Ben said, for relatively small stuff, except, well, the one character's not that small, but and like seeing them melted and like all of this stuff. And again, there's not a lot of suspense because at that portion of the movie, it's just mostly torture. And, you know, so what do I rate this? Yeah, there's some vomit in here too. It's gross towards the end. If you are an extreme horror fan, it might be worth watching. Um, Again, at least for the last half hour or so. Uh, I don't know how to rate this one, Todd. I'm going to be honest. What do you give it?
I'm just giving it a 1. I didn't do
Not
anything
your
for
thing.
me.
I thought
That's
you
my
might laugh.
enjoyment.
Okay. I thought you might get some laughs at the end. But what can I say? Tarot's your idea of dumb fun. Hell torture is my idea of dumb
That's all right. But you know how I am with religious horror. It doesn't matter what religion. It takes a lot. I'll
fun.
be honest. I've got 2 and who would have thought 2 in 1 year? I enjoyed 2 religious films this year. Not this one.
What
Immaculate
were the
First Omen.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say Pope's Exorcist, but that was last year.
Oh no, that one too. And I can't wait for the sequel. I wish we were getting.
I really hope they go with Pope's Exorcist. I really hope they stay on like we're just gonna have fun with this track.
They have to. They have to know.
I would think like because like I would love to see Russell Crowe just like fight insert whatever chupacabra like I don't even fucking care.
Yes.
His like little scooter breaks down and he's like fighting like the wolf man or Bigfoot or something. Like it's simple, it works. Have fun with Pope's Exorcist. Doesn't need to be some super serious exorcism thing. In fact, it could be a false exorcism. Like it really is. Like it's like he's gonna trying to exorcise some kid, and he's like a fucking werewolf.
They could just
That's
remake
cool.
Repossessed with Russell Crowe's Pope Exorcist. The Pope's Repossessed, done.
He'll sign on just for a bag of cheeseburgers. I'm just picturing him sitting there. He's got like fucking grease from the burger running down his beard. And he just like looks over at his co-stars like, I was Gladiator, you know. I want fat gladiators so fucking bad you have no idea. I just want like Ba with the Ba to hit, and you just like see him like just like coming in on like on his scooter.
On his Pope's Exorcist scooter.
He's back. They just like resurrect him through a spell or something. There you go. We get like fucking like Russell Crowe's Gladiator in the WWE. I don't know, something dumb. But yeah, just back to Hell Torture. This is on Netflix, so you can see it relatively easily. I think it's also on YouTube, also through the company. I think they've got the movie on there. A Possessed Vespa. Yes. Like I bought a vampire motorcycle, but with a Vespa and Russell Crowe. There's your tone.
I still want him to show up in the Conjuring universe.
I think there's more juice in the Pope's Exorcist verse than Conjuring.
I agree. Have him show up and fight the Warrens, though. That's money.
Can you imagine that? We have to bring in the big guns. You just see like Russell Crowe, like the Vespa bursts through the fucking window, and he just eats Annabelle. Like that's the climax. He just like fucking picks her up and like just eats her. Like goes down with some holy water. He just chugs some he blesses some Mountain Dew, and he just like fucking swallows like Annabelle. Boom. We're always booking better movies.
Swallows like Annabelle is probably not the best sentence to put together those words in that order.
Okay, my bad. That does sound bad. All right.
Why do we rate this one?
You rate it first because you're obvious. Well, you did. You did one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. We're going off on tangents.
I know.
It's one of those weeks. I am a 3, but this is not just like I recognize that this is not a good movie. It's just because it's Indonesian doesn't mean it's all great. I do love Indonesian horror though, but I had a lot of fun with it. It is different. Again, you want something different in a week where we didn't get a lot of different. Check it out. It's on Netflix. I'm glad you watched it, Ben. I was like, sometimes I feel like I'm just screaming into the void with some of these movies because nobody else watches them. All right. Next up, just organizing my notes, we have New Life, which I am eager to talk about. So in New Life, which is, I'm sorry, from writer-director John Roseman. In New Life, we follow a mysterious woman on the run and the resourceful fixer assigned to bring her in. They're two unique stories inextricably linked as the stakes of the pursuit rise to apocalyptic proportions. All right, so this movie, I'm going to say it's okay to say especially from the cover art, that it is an infection movie of some sort. I'll just put it that way.
I didn't get that from the cover.
Well, she's in a bio suit. I mean,
yeah, I did pay that close of attention. Yeah, I didn't catch it. So when I went in, I was.
Yeah, I mean, this is stuff that's revealed at the beginning. So
I'm not giving you shit for exposing.
Yeah.
And honestly, the poster that I used was different, so it just has the faces.
All right, so this is an interesting one to review, and I have no idea where people will fall. So it is a horror movie. I don't even need to get into like the horror portions of it, because to be honest, the horror portions of this movie take a backseat to the emotional core, which I think is very strong. We have Sonia Wagner, who plays the fixer that's going after this girl, who is, I believe her name is Jessica, is the main character, played by Haley Aaron, who's also very good. But Sonia Wagner is playing this character who's dealing with, she's recently been diagnosed with ALS, and it's starting to take hold. She's still able to work, but it's starting to kind of take control of her body, and that kind of parallels with the whatever it is that Jessica's dealing with. As I said, the more fantastical horror elements, it's handled well. It's suspenseful. Some of it's not an effects movie, but the effects that we get, the makeup effects, all look very good. And not only is the sort of the parallels between the two women, I think, handled really well, some of the side characters that come into this that Jessica encounters on her journey, they're pretty well developed in some cases for only having maybe 5 or 10 minutes of screen time. Like, I felt for everybody in this movie. It's really a movie about coping with harsh life changes, meeting your fate just head on, and trying to push through just really horrible circumstances. So I really like this. I don't know how well it's going to hit for a lot of horror fans, because the actual horror portion of this, as far as the story goes, is very been there, done that. It's nothing new. But in terms of acting, and I've been a huge Sonia Wagner fan for a while, she hasn't had the career that I would have expected her to have, because she's one of those, like, there's an Oscar in her future kind of girls. If anybody doesn't recognize the name, she was Penny on Lost. Not Penny's Boat, for those of you that remember that. She's also in a new space show. It's like an alternate history, I think, called For All Mankind, that's supposed to be good. I think it's on Apple Plus or something. But she's stellar. There's some pretty subtle, heartbreaking moments. This is going to move a little too slow, I think, for a lot of people out there just expecting a gore fest, or that other part of the movie to take center stage. But I'm guessing you didn't love it, but we'll see.
I thought it was well acted. It was just one of those things. I wasn't really in the right headspace for it. I thought yeah, you're right. The horror elements are, it's like, well, we've been there, done that. I did think there was a
it
good.
hit me in the feels, which I was not expecting. It actually did.
But yeah, I thought the story was solid. I didn't. It's not one I think it's a one-time watch for me, but I think it's worth checking out. Just see, I think it's good. I didn't know it was an Outbreak movie because the poster we just had the faces like mismangled of the two leads.
Mhm.
It's one in the graphic for the show.
Okay.
So yeah, I didn't know what I was expecting, so it really didn't sway my thoughts on it. But yeah, I kind of, I don't know, kind of had that feeling going in. It wasn't going to be like pure horror, so it was what it was. I just wasn't in the right headspace for it, but I didn't dislike it. I just didn't love it.
Yeah, I think it will depend. This is in no way a B movie. This one is played a little more serious. I think there is a scene with the two women towards the end that I was like, man, I'm really invested in these two and their journeys. So yeah, and also we get the great character actor Tony Amendola, who I won't say exactly who, but he's kind of the boss, I guess, of Sonia Wagner, who's sending her to take care of this situation. He's always great. I mean, Stargate SG-1, you know him probably from The Borrower. Just one of those actors that never really truly gets his due. He's fantastic always. But yeah, this is more like drama horror. Like that's the bulk of it, and I thought it worked really well. I really did. So what do you rate this, Todd?
Like I said, I'm kind of in the middle. I'm just gonna give it a 2.5. I like my enjoyment level. That's where I'm at.
I'm higher. I recognize that again, the basic story is nothing new. But I thought they really rised above with the acting. I'm a 3.5, and I know that's going to seem high to some people watching it, but it's definitely a horror movie. I feel like maybe go in thinking more drama thriller might hit you a little bit better, but it got me in the feels. What can I say? All right, so Todd, that is our last movie, but we got some Chucky, we got some Fallout. I don't know which one you want to do first, and I guess we'll circle back.
Before that, because we will be going into spoilers on some of these. We will have our post. We're doing it different tonight because, yeah, we are. Our post show is going to be when we're done. You're going to be clicking on a different link this time, so you might want to turn off your camera. So we're going to do it, different. Because some of the gore and some of the stuff we're trying to keep completely off the tube. So
you'll be in the green room, but yeah, you don't have to be seen. You won't be on with us technically.
And then it'll go up after it's done. Like then you can just watch it back. Unless I cut anything.
There you go. All right, but before we get to all of that, Todd, which one did you want to do? Fallout or Chucky?
We should probably do Chucky first since it's the horror one.
So all right,
I'm gonna do the spoiler gimmick.
All right, we're in spoilers. So this was the Chucky season finale, maybe series finale. We don't know yet. Appropriately titled Final Destination.
I fought for that. I wish Kruger was here to bitch about that.
Dude, I'm kind of hoping it's it. I mean, once again, there's the occasional like cool moment or fun little kill here or there, but ultimately, we've had a lot of ups and downs. There were certain points where I was a little more negative. It kind of drew me back in. Then it lost me.
I think the biggest problem for like a lot of people, you included, I think the week to week doesn't work for you guys. I think this is one where if you binge, those episodes that don't hit as hard are going to be immediately related, because it seems like we get a good one every couple, or like good one in your guys' definition. So I don't know. I do think this one might be a better binge show than week to week for some people.
I actually think that would make it worse, because then it's like I'm sitting down and watching hours of it, because the bad, especially at this point, far outweighs the good. It does not work as a show in general, as far as I'm concerned.
No, it doesn't work in a show that you want to consume. It works for some people. I'm not saying it works for me.
Anything works for some people, Todd, but this has pushed a massive chunk of the audience.
But see, here's the thing. I don't understand, like, the fan base doesn't understand, like, who the director and writer is. I mean, this was always...
We've never gotten this in the movies. Even Seed of Chucky, like, which was very different, but like, this has never been that. I thought Curse of Chucky really brought it around to where it needed to be. Cult of Chucky, that's not fucking this, Todd.
I don't know. I don't know what you mean. What are you saying? What does that
mean? Cult of Chucky is not this tone.
Okay.
None of the other stuff was. This was like a very radical departure, and not in a good way for the Child's Play movies. Like, in some ways, I think they really sullied it with this show.
They literally brought it back to where they can completely ignore the story and just move on. Like, if you watch the last movie and whatever happens next, everything is back to normal.
Well, we are in spoilers. I keep forgetting, so I can talk about what happened. We don't, like, I really just fucking kill these kids off. They don't need to be the central characters. And now, if this continues, they're still the central characters.
But if it doesn't, they are easily ignored and we move on.
If the show comes back, there's no way you could ignore this.
If this is the end of the series and we're back to movies.
Oh, well.
Although knowing it, we will finish this up. This won't just leave like the way it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because this is not like one of those endings where that works as an ending. I mean, it is a cliffhanger. It doesn't give you...
Well, you know what? See, I don't think it is in this sense, but you know what? How many... Like, are we just talking about the kids, or are we talking about everything in general?
Everything in general. This is in no way a finale.
It's not, but you know what? It's not like it was... Even if the show is the finale, it doesn't mean it's a movie finale. I mean, that's totally different. I still think we're going to get more movies either way. I mean, he's brought it up. So, but I think you can ignore those characters if you want to. I mean, we probably...
I don't think this is it for the Child's Play franchise necessarily, because I don't see how you go theatrical off the back of this again.
Well, you have to do a reboot. I mean, it doesn't have to be a remake, but you got to really figure out, and I don't care.
If I had my way, I would ignore this entire show. I would Roseanne the fuck out of it, where Chucky just wakes up and it was all a dream.
That's such a cheat. I don't like it.
I get that, but like, at this point, dude, like,
but see, here's the thing, Don. I will say this right now: if you do that, that's the worst thing you can do, because all you're gonna do is all the fucking haters are just gonna be happy they changed it, and then they're not gonna watch anyway, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's nothing.
I guess we get a little bit of mayhem in here that's fun enough, but yeah.
Oh, well, I don't care. I still have fun with the show. It got us back to everything. You can just kind of move on. Chucky and everything's all good. I'm going to pull up Pug's notes, see what he said. I haven't read them yet, so I will be reading them for the first time. Okay. This is Pug's notes. Chucky season 4. They brought the extra fuck it, why not this season, and I enjoyed the ride. It hasn't been scary since the first season, so if you're looking for that, that's on you, the viewer. They deliver gore regularly and laughs constantly. both intentional and unintentional. I hope we get more and lean into the fuck it. Why not even more? The fuck it. Why not even more? More John Waters and less shitty marionettes. That was fucking lame. The entire house was filled with dolls. Come on. Come the fuck on. We have Chucky and Tiffany on the same side again, which is nice. And I hope they stay that way for a while. And then he also said, miss you fucks. Namaste. And he'll see us in Disneyland. So.
There you go. There you
See,
go.
I'm a lot closer to Pugs because I do still have fun with the show.
I will. All right. If I have to continue with this continuity, I kill off everybody at the beginning, and I mean everybody at this point.
Then you're not dealing with the continuity, Dan. You're just
no
restarting.
And then Chucky and Tiffany are you do. You just take care of it in the opening scene.
The continuity is in the first scene to kill everyone off. That is just as bad as him waking up from a fucking dream, Dan. Same fucking thing.
Nobody likes these fucking kids.
No, Dan, you don't. You don't.
All right, I'll put it this way. I'm not.
The community doesn't like them. I get that.
If anybody out there that sees this video, if you love these kid characters at this point, and I'm including Lexi,
kid characters, Pugs doesn't have an issue. That's half your fucking show right here, Dan. I mean, and half of them are here, but
it's too much. The tween romance shit.
Again, too much for you.
That's fine, Todd. I'm not saying that, but I haven't had anybody been like, you're very hard on Chucky. Like
I'm not even telling you that.
With Halloween, I'll give it that. I do get a lot of pushback that I'm too hard on it. I haven't heard one fucking person say yeah, you're being too harsh on Chucky.
Yeah, but the circle you run in, Dan, all is of the same mindset on this.
That's not true at all. I know people that are the polar fucking opposite, and Halloween's a good example. There's other things.
I'm talking specifically on this show and the community.
Well, hey, I'm waiting.
This one.
I'm waiting. If you like it, drop it in the comments. Sincerely, yeah, please do, because I've not heard from anybody yet. I know some people that still watch it. Most admit it's not exactly what they would want. So I don't know. We'll see. But that's all I really
though. It's everyone has something they want when it comes to this franchise. Any franchise, and that's why it's so fucking the internet sucks balls. But
we can't prop up shit. It's okay to call shit. Like I don't know.
I'm sticking by my that fucking 20 years. Halloween ends. It's gonna flip.
I'm not saying that the fans aren't out there. I don't know. It is shocking how many people were just like, man, I don't give a fuck. I don't know what the ratings are. Obviously, they're good enough to get 3 seasons, but I don't know. This one definitely killed the fan base. And I'm not saying that the casuals are what matter more than anything, but this definitely killed off a lot of the fan base. Punisher, thank you. Team Dan on this one. Brian, I am a Chucky hater, but you're not defending the show, so I'm still waiting for that. All right.
Well, see, I'm not defending the show either, Dan, but I don't think I need to defend it. You don't like it. I do. I mean, what am I defending?
You don't love it, though, right? I mean, what is your, I would say you're more like me. Like, Baby Bride of Chucky is what we want to shoot for.
I liked all of the Chucky films. The only one I'm not a big fan of is 3, and I've slowly turned on that one.
See, I like the movies too. I think I enjoy all. Seed.
I love Seed. See, Dan, look at my history of the movies I like of all the franchises. It's always the weird one. Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Halloween 6. Friday the 13th, 5.
2 the weird one for Elm Street. I was going to say
it's the weird one that is still enjoyable. There's weirder ones. Part 5 is weird as fuck, but it's fucking stupid as shit.
Yeah.
Freddy's Dead is weird, but it's trying to be weird. 2 is weird and it's not trying to, and that's why.
Okay. Yeah. I like I said,
across the franchises, look, it's like that with I like the weird. If I wanted to live in real fucking life, I would. I like fucking weird.
We're pretty far from real life, even from the beginning of the Chucky franchise. But yeah,
no, I'm not.
I get what you're saying.
Okay.
I get what you're saying. But all right, enough Chucky.
So Dan is not a fan of season 3. Pugs overall liked it too. Yeah. I do think I will throw this out there for Pugs. I do think the Devon Sawa gimmick got annoying. No, see, but they flipped it on me when they brought the President's Double, and I was all in again. I was like, okay, that's good.
Oh, if season 4 happens, you're gonna have Devon Sawa's. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait because it's gonna be the thing that pushes people's buttons. See, that's me just saying fuck everyone. So
I kind of feel like we would have gotten that announcement at this point. I actually thought they were already in production on season 4 because this was basically done. So I thought, like, okay, we probably would already have an announcement.
No, because they got halfway through and then they paused and then they did the second half of the season because of the strike.
Yeah,
that's why there was that long gap. That's why there was that long gap, and they didn't split the season up for any other reason than the strike. They got those first 4 in the can. Strike happened. When it was done, they filmed them.
Okay, I'm mixed up.
So it wasn't like a planned split season, like
Yeah,
because they normally just run through the 8.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if an announcement happens.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't count on it.
Yeah,
but see, there's a cliffhanger, but I don't feel like the cliffhanger's any worse than any of the last few movies. It's nothing that like every one of the last 3 movies you kind of are left on a cliffhanger. This one does the same thing effectively. So, and it's not like a show that gets canceled like a My Name is Earl where it's a literal cliffhanger and you don't know what happens. It's not this because even if it is the end of the series, you kind of know it's not done. I mean, Don will try to continue it somehow.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so if you're upset you're not going to get an ending to this, I still feel pretty confident you will. Hopefully it's not Dan's kill him off in the first scene so he can be happy.
Oh, I'm killing him off in the first one.
You see, now I'm at the point I want them to live. I want them to be the ones to finally kill Chucky. Oh my God, you all would fucking get so. Okay.
Here's the thing: it wouldn't bother me that much because it's just done now for me.
It would bother you. Done. You say that. Look how much Halloween End bothers you.
Oh, I'll still bitch about it because I gotta watch it, but for the show. But
you don't have to watch it, Dan.
For the show,
you don't have to though, Dan.
I don't just watch the stuff that I think I'm gonna like.
You do though. You normally watch one episode of any show we're covering and stop.
Oh, TV.
How's American Horror Story? We're halfway through and we still got 4 episodes.
TV. I've told you before my philosophy with TV. If it's every week that I'm pretty much just like, yeah, I'm not into this, that gets boring. Chucky, there was like a couple flows where it was bearable, but
from your amount of bitching, it doesn't seem like it. Okay.
I watched another TV show, Todd, Fallout.
I'm surprised too. I figured.
Well, you know, I'm a post-nuke guy, so
that's true. Okay, yeah, because I like. See, this is the one thing we should have seen, but like we're both like, we're not gamers really. I mean, I've never.
No, I'm aware of the game. I know the game is post-nuke.
I didn't even know that, so it makes sense for the name.
Yeah, I know it's famous and people.
I know of the game. Yeah, I just never played it or know anything about it other than the little blonde guy. I've seen the logo before.
Yeah. It's. I mean, the show's essentially sort of an alternate 1950s world where basically everything that you thought was going to go to shit does. And we jump back and forth in time and we're like, I think they said 200 some years in the future.
Yeah, two.
So we're in this weird post-nuke world. I wasn't sure what the tone would be. Sometimes you never know with the video game adaptation because there's only so much story in a video game.
As soon as I saw Walton Goggins, I was like, okay, I'm going to watch this whole series.
Great character actor. I think it's cool seeing him get like a main role like this.
He always gets main roles. I mean,
He did after a while. It took him a while. He was one of those guys that grinded.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
but I mean, starting with the Shield, he's been on series since fucking that.
Yeah,
since,
that's true. I was going to say Justified, which he was fantastic in.
Right.
Another TV show.
He was also fantastic in the Shield. Thank you.
Yes, he was.
Shout out to 2,000 Corpses.
So there's a couple like minor things, and I get it. Like for me, the 50s music, like at times gets a little bit grating. That's a minor little thing, but it's all 50s everything. Daily Ghost brings up Vice Principals. Vice Principals was funny. Not as good as Eastbound and Down, though, I would say.
But I'm gonna go. If we're talking Goggins and fucking Dan's favorite Halloween writer, then I'm 100% Righteous Gemstones. Fucking Walton kills it. Fucking that show as the cousin.
Yeah, no, he's good. And you know what? I like that kind of weird post-apocalyptic vibe that we get it in a lot of movies. I wasn't too sure. Like, if I was watching this, and I'm like, I don't know, like the humor, if it's gonna fully hit for me. I think for the most part it does. I like that, this is weird and wacky without going full cartoon. I think Walton's character, Cooper, but the ghoul, I think I really enjoyed it. Some of the set pieces are a lot of fun. There's some good gore that hits you out of nowhere. It's funny. It surprisingly, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I really did.
Dan hates 50s rock and roll.
It's not all rock and roll. A lot of it's like, just
you don't watch Yellow Jackets, right?
I need to watch it. I heard season 1 is phenomenal and season 2 goes to shit. I did watch the first I watched the pilot, I think.
Okay. I didn't mean to get that whole extra discussion because now I'm just going to say season 2 is different. I think if you want the exact same thing as season 1, you're going to be disappointed, but it evolves. I like season 2 a lot.
Is that getting a season 3?
We're supposed to they said there was another episode coming after that last one, like maybe like the Euphoria ones, how there was those weird middle episodes, but I think there's still one coming. But what I was going to say was I only brought it up because of I don't know if you know what is it, Ela Purnell, the lead in this, or one of the leads in this. She's also from Yellow Jackets, so she's plays.
Oh, nice. Yes.
Yeah. I don't want to say the main one, but she's one of the main ones because
I watched that a while ago, so I didn't remember.
Yeah, she was Teen Jackie because they do, past and present also kind of like this, but you have a different actress playing her older. So I believe she's, well, whatever.
One gag that made me laugh was when the night, and I'm sorry, I didn't even take notes on this. I just binged it. But the night where he didn't know like what masturbation was. That's funny. It's like it does this weird thing. I thought
what show it made me miss?
Which one?
Future Man.
Oh yeah, Future Man was good. That's another one. I think that's like the first trip I made to LA. We binged Future Man.
At least the first 2 seasons. I don't think the third one was out yet. But I
watched that later. I think I really enjoyed it. I know it's one of those things where it's going to be like a year and a half before we get season 2 or something obscene, but I enjoyed this. And I also watched, we covered it a while ago, the car show, the futuristic car show, and I'm forgetting the name. Samoa Joe.
Yeah, Twisted Metal. The video.
Twisted Metal. There you go. Yeah, I enjoyed that too. I feel like that should have been announced for season 2.
I thought it was. Maybe I'm crazy. I'm pulling spoilers.
It was renewed, but I mean, like, I feel like that should be.
I don't know if they're
out ready to come back. I don't know, but
Mocha Joe.
Yeah, and anything post nuke, I'm a sucker for. So I did enjoy it. The cowboy who becomes something very different, and there's kind of like a little bit of a lull in the episodes, but then the way they kind of throw those twists at the end
Because you're binging them, it works better.
for this show, it does. Chucky would not, Tad.
You don't know because you've never been.
There's not some fucking magic there. Well, I didn't feel like I was having a porcupine shoved up my ass during this show at all. Chucky, I did. So sorry, Todd.
Whatever gets you off, Dan.
Yeah. But yeah, just general thoughts on it. I know we're not going to go deep. I have no idea, like, what the fans of the video game think or anything. Again,
Greg is a fan of the video game, and so is Ozzy, and both of them were enjoying the show, or at least I know Greg finished it. I know he did, because he was telling me, like, because I asked him, I was like, if I was gonna play one of the games, which should it be? And he was telling me which, like, I think he said it was Fallout 3, kind of. At least when I asked, it was kind of following the same trajectory.
Maybe it's a little different now, but like I remember talking about certain movies with people. Like, video game adaptations are tough because, like, you have something in your head, but there's not a lot of actual story to the games. Like, say what you will for House of the Dead, but it's not like there was a pre-existing story to House of the Dead to adapt.
Dead is a bad example. I was literally an arcade shooter. Of course, there's no plot.
Well, pretty much, at least my history with video games was there wasn't a lot of plot.
Well, yeah, you played video games 30 years ago.
It's not 30 years ago, Tad.
What was the last game you like played like all the way through?
So I was a big N64 guy, the first PlayStation, and I believe I did play like one or two things on PlayStation 2. After that, I'm kind of
okay. My question was, Dan, what was the last game you played all the way through?
Well, my question was, that's not 30 fucking years, Tad. I
don't know what game it is. So what game was the one you played all the way through? And PlayStation 2 was 30 years ago at this point, Dan.
It's not 30 years ago.
It came out in the 90s, didn't it?
I think that was early 2000s.
I'm double checking. You could be right. I'm not 100 on this.
N64, I want to say, and again, I'm no expert on this.
That was 90s.
96 maybe for N64. 97 maybe.
See, I want to say that was 93. Hold on. I'm looking. Now I'm curious. Anyone out there, video game people, know this shit?
Yeah, I'm at N64 PlayStation. There's not much after that. I like I said, maybe a few things on PlayStation 2. So.
Wow, March 4th, 2000. So that was for PlayStation.
Fuck you, that's not 90s, Tad.
I'm putting N64 around 93. Let's see.
You definitely not 93.
I was still in high school. Okay, 96. How was I not in high school? I remember playing it in Circuit City and being like, this shit sucks, and moving on.
N64 was fun.
Fuck all this.
Oh, Mario Kart was the black.
No, I said Mario 64. That was the demo game. I played that. I hated it. Never bought the system. If I'm gonna buy a Nintendo, you got to sell me on that Mario game and all that 3D bullshit. I wanted my side scrolling fucking little Italian just jumping around in tubes. Fuck all that 360 bullshit.
I feel like I'm just too far removed from it now. Like, I don't even like if you
I thought I was too. I had fun playing them. Toxic Avenger needs to hurry the fuck up. Or, sorry, Toxic Crusaders.
I was a big Sega kid, so I played a lot of Sega.
Toxic Crusaders for Sega tonight now.
Super Nintendo, and everything.
You still never answered my question, Dan. What was the last game you beat or played all the way through? Played all the way through.
I want to say it's the Resident Evil that became the second Resident Evil movie, maybe, that I remember like really playing. I mean, I can name games. Do you remember Chakin? I think that's how you say it. It's like a horror game on Sega. I remember that being really fucking hard to beat. But
I got that one Sega Night Trap from Sega CD. That was their game. I got it on PlayStation. I still haven't played it. I been waiting to play that for like, that's the Sega CD. So that's 30 plus years ago.
Yeah, that might be. Yeah.
Dan last played Pong.
Pong was fun. So was Tank Wars. That was a computer thing I used to have fun with.
All right. Well, we should probably tell them to go watch the other thing, Dan.
All right, guys. On that note, I think we've covered everything. Check out Fallout. Let us know what you think about that as well. I dug the vibe. Sorry, we're not doing a deep dive. I just wanted to watch it.
Yeah. I didn't even know we were still doing it.
And these are non-video game fans, so that might say something.
Yeah. No, I had a good time with it. Yeah, it's a fun show.
Kyle MacLachlan was very good as well.
Yeah.
So guys, we're gonna hop over to Patreon where we're gonna do it a little different. So if you want to see like extreme, like
Dan's gonna let out all the bad words right at the start.
I am not Ted, but there is going to be some wrestling footage that you can't really do on YouTube. So you want to check that out. Just see how big of a badass Kruger is. Be sure to hop on the Patreon. Patreon.com/FleshWoundFeatures. Once again, it all starts at just $1. We don't monetize the channel, so you know you got a couple extra bucks to throw our way. We really appreciate it.
And there still will be a chat in the gimmick. So Dan, a private chat for you. So you better gotta say it on there.
Yeah, so it'll be a little different. We're not going to like bring you on screen, but you know, if you want your camera off, you know.
I can watch you in the back doing weirdo shit, but I prefer not.
Todd can see you masturbate, but yeah.
I prefer not to. We'll just go that way.
He would prefer not to, but you're patrons. You can do what you want. If you want to masturbate, you're a fucking patron. You're in your house.
Dan, are you going to make me edit? And I didn't even have to edit the body.
I'm not making you edit anything.
I don't know where you're going, so why don't we just...
All right, Ted. All right, so we'll see you over there, guys. Patreon.com/FleshWoundFeatures. Also join the free Discord as well. Check that out. And we will be back next week. For you Flesh Wound After Dark fans, that is returning with a vengeance with the school teacher Edwig Fennick movies very soon. We'll see you over on Patreon. Come again hard.
God damn it, Dan.